All right, new bike day. Welcome back. Let's get this marker cracked open. To start, we're gonna need scissors. This bike is our new bloom box. So what you need to do is grab a sharp edge and cut the tape that are on both sides of the bike near these flaps. As a pro tip, always cut away from yourself and not toward yourself. All right, close your scissors, put them safely on your desk. Now it's time to start popping open these tabs. You're gonna open up the flaps. There's two right here on the front side, and then two on either side of the box where the tape was cut just now. Once the flap is free, you can open up the top. Be sure to grab this small parts box, set that aside for later, and then swing these sides out. Hold the bike steady as the box opens, giving you a place to work. Now it's time to cut the packaging. All right, we got all of our packaging off. Time to remove the second battery from the box. It's located down here by the rear wheel. Let's pull it up. Set that aside for later. All right, now you take this last column of cardboard out. Hold onto the bike as you All right, now it's time to get assembling. I know the forks look like they're on correct, but we are using a reverse arch fork on this bike, so the fork is actually in the box backwards to save space. What we'll want to do here is spin the forks 180 degrees counterclockwise so that the rotor and caliper are on the non-drive side of the bike. So gently pick up the bike, spin the forks 180 degrees, and now it's in the correct position. Unboxing your Monarch, you may find that the brake cable wraps around the back side of your steer tube, or that the arch is on the front side. I'd like to show you how to reposition your fork so that it's oriented in the correct and safe position. So this one is 360 degrees counterclockwise spin from where it should be. So some bikes you may see have the arch in the back as intended, but the cable wraps around. So you'll spin it 180 degrees, holding the stem and cockpit stationary. Now you'll see that the arch is in the front. This is incorrect. The caliper is on the wrong side, but now that cable is starting to unwrap. Some of you may find your bike out of the box like this. All you do to remedy this is going another 180 degrees counterclockwise. Now you'll find the cable is free from obstruction. It doesn't wrap around the head tube. Your arch is on the back. This is what you want to see before you put your front wheel in. With the forks put on the correct orientation, it's time to get our tools and start assembling. First thing you're gonna need is a 5mm Allen wrench supplied in the small parts box. In the small part box, you'll find a left and right pedal, front and rear reflector, assorted fasteners with their washers, a torque wrench with interchangeable bits, a 4mm and 5mm Allen key with adjustable ends, lithium-ion battery safety guide, a QR code for more information on your battery, terms of purchase, and a QR code to join the Monarch family. With the fork on in the correct orientation, it's time to remove the top cap bolt from the stem. With this off, you can now remove the cardboard spacer. Important to know, while this is off, there's nothing holding your fork steer tube into the frame. You want to do this on the ground so that the fork doesn't drop out. So use gravity to assist you keeping the frame on the fork until you get your handlebars in position. And once your handlebars are in position, take that stem cap bolt that you just removed, tighten that down. You'll want to tighten this until you get it good and snug. You want there to be no play up and down in the stem or headset, but not so tight that you feel kind of stiction or binding. Once that is tight, you can take the pinch bolts on the stem, they're also an M5, and tighten those down accordingly. We'll go back a little bit later and torque them to spec, but for right now, just get them tight enough so that the bars don't spin freely on your steer tube. Time to air up the front tire. Before you get started, remove the valve stem cap, and while you're doing that, locate on the sidewall your PSI recommendations. On the marker, you'll see that it's a minimum of 5 PSI to a maximum of 30. Take your pump, place the Schrader valve end over the Schrader valve. Now, it's time to start pumping. If your tracer or marker is equipped with the tooled through axle, you will need to use your torque wrench that we supply in the small parts box and the 6mm hex. To loosen it, you would go counterclockwise. This will back it out of the threaded insert on the non-drive side. And then to tighten it, you just go clockwise in the direction that is printed on the head of the through axle. And then you'll see that it is marked at 14 to 15 Newton meters. So when you get to the end, make sure that you can read the torque markings, and then you'll just go down until you see that 15 Newton meters. Now you know that your through axle is safe, tight, and won't back out on you. All right, she's starting to look like a bike. Now it's time to connect the cables up, and we'll be that much closer to riding. These are all very simple. They're color-coded, so red into red, yellow into yellow. You find your first red controller. This is a motor immobilizer for the front brake. On the other side, you'll find another motor immobilizer for the rear brake. They have these beautiful arrows to help you orient them correctly. Yellow goes into yellow. Find the arrows, line them up, and press them in. We have our front light is also a red to red. And the last one we have is green. Right there, coming out of the display into here. Now all your cables are connected. You can remove this protective film, power the bike on to ensure you installed all the cables correctly. This is not required, but if you want to make your cables a little bit more attractive, once you've connected all of your connectors, you can back up this spiral wrap till before the connector junctions, and then wrap your cable wrap over all 3 cables, which will give you a little bit of a tidier appearance. It'll keep the cables all together. It'll also keep them from accidentally getting snagged and pulling off should you get caught on your coat or a doorknob or something. So it keeps them a little bit more protected. Like I said, not mandatory, but pro tip from your good friend Ryan at Monarch to pull your cable wrap back and re-wrap your cables so that all of the junctions are within the wrap. Do that on this side as well. Put the brake immobilized. Actually, I should go the other way. You've got yourself a tidy little cockpit where all the cables are continued to be bunched together, safe from snags, and looking good. All right. Up close, we got 2 more parts to go on. First will be the front fender. You'll find 4 bolts on the trailing edge of the fork lowers. These are all M4 bolts, so grab your M4 fastener that came in the small parts box and start by just backing those 4 fasteners out. Set them aside, but keep them close because we'll be reinstalling them very shortly. That's number 3 of 4 freed. Now your last one. Alrighty, now let's go grab our fender and I'll show you how to install it. With the fender loose and in your hands, you'll take the front of the fender, which is the side opposite the fender struts, and you'll place that over the front tire and then slide it underneath the fork lower on the reverse arch side forward until the bracket that holds on the front fender touches the top 2 bolts. Then you'll take your 4 bolts that you set aside very intently, place them on your M4 tool, and then start to loosely tighten them. Don't tighten them snugly. We'll use this slot in the fender bracket to get really good concentric alignment of the fender before we tighten it all down. So again, line up the bracket to the top of the fork lower bolts. Make sure you're not cross-threading. Tighten this in straight. And again, not all the way tight, just close enough. And then we're going to work on the strut. So the strut will come down and touch the hole that's on the lower part of the fork lower. So thread your fastener through and then start getting it installed into the fork lower. There is a little bit of adjustment. All of these connections are slightly slotted, so you can push and pull the fender into the desired concentricity that you wish. All right, this is number 4. Getting that good and snugged. So now you'll take a step back. You can see that the fender has a little bit of adjustment up and down, forward and backwards with these struts. So you'll find an aesthetic that you like, that isn't rubbing. And once that's in the right position, you can go ahead and snug up all 4 bolts to make it so that the fender doesn't move around anymore. And you'll have a great fender fit. All right, that's the fender fixed. To make pedal installation a breeze, we have included some quick release pedals. You'll just find the sticker on the pedal that correlates with the sticker on the crank. These are both right side. All you have to do is find where the pedal attaches to the crank arm, pull this quick release collar outwards from the center of the bike, slot your pedal in, and once it's bottomed out, release the collar. The pedal's installed. Repeat that on the left side and you'll be ready to roll. Getting close to our first ride. First, I'd like you to cut this first ride safety checklist off, as well as your associated Monarch keys. These will be important, set those aside. That's how you get into and out of your battery. With those aside, it's time for our safety check. Make sure that you're torquing all of your bolts to the torque values that you'll see up on screen here. These are the stem pinch bolts. That is a 10 Newton meter torque rating. So you'll use your torque wrench with the associated bit to pull this until the line shows 10. Repeat that on the other side. You may need to tighten a few turns before you get into the 10 Newton meters. There we are. Repeat this all over the bike before your first ride. Pair your phone to the new bike. First, you'll need to turn the bike on by pressing the button on the back side of the display. Wait until you see the Monarch logo pop up. After a few seconds, you'll see the main screen. Click the upper left corner, there's an orange arrow which will bring you to your settings menu. Scroll over to devices, press that, and then you'll see phone. Click on the phone, it'll present you with a QR code for pairing. Once the QR code is showing, open up your Monarch app, click on Add Bike, and you'll see a scanner pop up. Now, your Monarch marker is synced. Being comfortable on your ride is super important, and a key part of that is saddle height being in the correct position. To adjust your saddle height, you open up the quick release lever arm, and you're then able to pop the saddle all the way down, pull it all the way up. There are markings on the saddle seat post that indicate a minimum insertion distance, so don't pull the saddle or seat post out further than those lines indicate. But you're going to want to size it for you. Find the right position, make sure the saddle's centered, and then just cam that lever back over. Before our first ride, let's get familiar with the controls. Equipped on every marker is the Talon P4 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes. They have a reach adjust in here, so you can tighten and loosen this to bring the lever forward and back depending on your finger length. Before every ride, it's great to give them a little squeeze and make sure you've got good modulation and lever feel. On markers, the right lever is activation on the rear, left is on the front. I like to lean in with the rear at first so you don't lock up your front, and then ease on with the front as you need more progressive braking forces. The Monarch marker comes with a 9-speed Shimano Q's shifter. The thumb pad shifts you into easier gears or larger cogs, and then the index finger trigger pulls back to shift you into harder gears for higher top speed. To power on your marker, press the small button on the back of the display until you see the Monarch logo appear. On your button pad, the square button in the center will switch between the pages that you see indicated on the bottom of your display. This one gives you more information to more deeply track the stats on your ride. This one indicates range. If you have extra accessories like the TPMS sensor or radar, they'll show up in these 5th and 6th displays. The up and down buttons on the left side of your display change your assist level from cruise to breeze to explore, sport, and finally boost. Hitting down on those buttons will take you down from boost, sport, explore, breeze, cruise, and then off. Press and hold the plus button to turn the lights on. Press the left button to activate the left turn signal. Press left again to cancel. Press the right button for the right turn signal. Press it again to cancel. Press and hold the top button to activate your hazard lights. To activate the throttle, make sure that your throttle is on and you're in an assist level. Press with your left thumb. Throttle will assist you up to 20 miles an hour if you're in class 2. Press and hold the minus button to activate walk assist. The top speed is adjustable in the display, which we'll get into in just a moment. While using the throttle, you can press and hold the walk assist button to activate cruise control. You can take your hands off and the throttle will keep you at the speed that you've selected until you grab a brake, which will turn off cruise control. To access the settings on your marker, you can use the touch screen to press the arrow on the upper left. This gives you access to your controls and your settings. Click into General and you'll find things like which language you'd like to have the display read in, your time format, whether it be 12 hours or 24 hour, having the clock on, setting your time, choosing which units, imperial or metric, turning the touchscreen on and off, having your PAS show as an icon only or icon plus text. You can modulate the screen brightness. You can change your home page theme from a number of 6 different beautiful background displays. And then you can change whether there is a buzzer or a chime for your turn signal, your rear traffic radar, TPMS warning, navigation. To access important settings for your bike, press on the bike, where you'll have access to how long the bike is on before it goes to sleep when it's not being used, turning auto headlight on and off. You can choose to only turn it on using the display or use ambient light sensors. You can clear your trip data, change what speed your walk mode is in between 3 miles an hour, 3.7 miles an hour, or disabled. You can go into your speed limit. Right now we are in class 3 with a high throttle position at 28 mile an hour high speed. You can, in 1 mile per hour increments, change your speed setting from 28 all the way down to 10 and back up to 28 should you choose, or should local jurisdictions dictate a top speed. You can also select between class 1, 2, and 3. Class 1 and 2 will limit your top speed to 20, but Class 3 will allow you to access 28 miles an hour. And throttle is either dictated by the pedal assist level you're in or always in boost. You can factory reset your marker or go into advanced settings. You can turn your throttle on and off. You can choose between cadence and torque sensors. You can have your cruise control turn on or turn off. This setting is your motor tuning, where you can go into each individual assist level and modify your max torque, your assist level, and your pedal responsiveness. Should you go in too deep, you can always hit reset to default and it'll go back to its factory settings. There's some battery undervoltage, battery voltage, wheel diameter, wheel circumference. All these are dictated by the programming of the motor, but you can also go in here and change your battery charge limit from 100%, 90%, down to 80%, all the way to 50. Charging it up to 80% is proven to extend the life and longevity of your lithium-ion cells, and it's baked right into every marker. These are devices that are already synced to this marker, a phone, front and rear TPMS. You can also connect a new device, whether that be radar, the smart helmet, heart rate monitor, and motion camera. Controller will just show you what your model number is, software number, and firmware. Same with battery. You'll be able to see which firmware version, which hardware version, what your serial number is for the battery, what your voltage is currently, the state of health of your battery, average current, max charge interval, state of charge, current temperature, max temperature, number 1 cell voltage, number 2 cell voltage, and number 3 cell voltage. Clicking on the HMI will show you what the model number of the display is, what software version you have, what firmware version you have, serial number, and what the MAC address is for the HMI. Down here you'll see connected, we currently have TPMS sensors linked paired to the bike, but you can go in here and add more right through the settings. Also, you'll see in the upper right corner a night mode and day mode. Depending on your riding environment, you may want to choose a different setting for better visibility. Each nice fork is equipped with a lockout. Twist it clockwise to lock the fork out. Twist it counterclockwise to open it up. all 80 millimeters of suspension. On the left side of the fork, you'll see a preload adjustment knob. Clockwise adds preload, counterclockwise takes it away. To remove the battery, stick your key in, turn it clockwise. It'll stop at the first safety latch. Press the small aluminum button at the top to release it all the way. To install your battery, do that just in reverse. Place the battery in at the bottom first, angle it down, you're ready to rip. These big 4-inch kind of tires give me no hesitation when the terrain gets rough. I just float over.